Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clank Zoka, and welcome to another My Thoughts on. Today, I'll be talking about the Book of Life. And just before I go into this, a little bit of history. Um, my series, the My Thoughts on series, and the other reviews I've done, like Horrid Henry, Peter Rabbit, Clifford's really big movie. I've done reviews on IMDb. I've done it on Rotten Tomatoes. I have expressed my opinions on YouTube and different videos. Do you want to know where this has all started? From this film. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it's true. This film was actually what got me into reviewing films because, I'm not going to tell you what I think of it. I mean, I will, but not now. But it actually made me watch more films again. I mean, yeah, I do, but back then when I was about 15, I think, I wasn't really, big. I was just in the cringy stuff, Minecraft, Ice Bucket Challenges, all that. But then the Book of Life came along, and it kind of changed me. Okay, it's not like a masterpiece, but there was definitely something to it. And since today is Halloween, I thought, why not review this one? I know I've reviewed the Hotel Transylvania films, but that was for the third movie. So, let's review an actual Halloween movie. The Book of Life. This film was released in 2014, which was about 5.5, maybe 4 years ago. It's about the special day in Mexico, or Spain, which is called the land. The day. Oh fuck! I forgot already. It's called the Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos. My Spanish is absolute shit, and I should learn, and I should know because I saw Coco. And that also reminds me, this is probably the biggest concern I had about with Coco. That film was a little too similar to this, but luckily they're both pretty different, executed differently, and have a different plot. But well, yeah. Okay, let's just get into this. Okay, so the Book of Life takes place in this little town called Saint Angel. I know it says Saint Angel, but okay, that's clever. Where we have three friends, or two. You got Manolo Sanchez, who is a musician, but his father wants him to be in the bullfighting in the bullfighting business, and he's voiced by Diego Luna. And you've got Channing Tatum, who's back in animation once again as Joaquin, who was once the son of Captain Mongol, but now he'll be the hero of the town. And of course, how can you forget Maria, voiced by Zoe Saldana, who is the damsel in distress, but turns out she actually has a little bit of a mind of her own. Two spirits. One is El Muerte, who is the ruler of the land of the remembered, where whoever comes and dies will always be remembered and have a great time. Where Sebulba, voiced by the legendary Ron Perlman, is the ruler of the land of the forgotten, where those who are forgotten fade away. Yeah. Manolo accidentally gets into a bit of a situation. He has a bit of a heart for Maria, and he kind of fancies her. But after some coincidence, he ends up in the land of the remembered. But now he has to get back and save Maria before this evil bandit named Shakaro destroys their town. Pretty simple, right? Yeah, pretty straightforward, and this is told from in a book by a lady telling this to some school children, it doesn't really sound like anything you would expect. But, holy crap, this movie actually works. Okay, I'm sure Coco did it a little better, but I think it's best to acknowledge what this film has done right. First off, this movie is executed with so much passion and so much heart, and there's a good message behind it too. And I really like it about this movie. It doesn't try to pander to a specific audience. It knows that there's going to be a lot of people who appreciate the heck out of this film. And the comedy is pretty strong as well, surprisingly. Okay, most of the time it hits, about 98% hits. Other two is basic humour. Pretty much like Smallfoot, and I'm not just saying that because of Channing Tatum. It's that humour is not always the key thing about films. Even though this movie and Smallfoot's humour did hit mostly, but that doesn't mean the comedy is actually the weakest part. In fact, it's actually one of the strongest parts of the film. And let me tell you, this movie doesn't disappoint. It's predictable, sure, but it's a hero's journey. Whether it's predictable or not, you do root for the hero and you want him to get to the end, along with some pretty funny scenes and some great action along the way, and visuals. Let me get to that in a bit, because that's something that's worth talking about. Do I have any problems? No, not really. There is no subplots, thank God. I mean, there is one about Maria marrying Joaquin, but that isn't much, and it is thrown away at the end. I know it's a bit. Granted, it's a bit predictable and it comes out of nowhere, but what do you expect from a film like this? And the other one is that this movie's predictable. Granted, not every film has to be unpredictable, but a few twists and turns, I guess. But I think this plot works for this kind of movie. And it's a really fast movie. Like, it's a superly cartoony, fast-paced film, but it works in its world and favour. And there's not one dull moment. It all seems to fit quite calming and quite smooth. Not really original writing or anything, but these people and the director, and get this, Guillermo del Toro is actually the producer. These people know how to make it, know how to have fun with it, they know how to deliver a good message, and of course, some good heart. The visuals. Okay. Don't get mad, alright? Look, Pixar, DreamWorks, Disney, they have made some visually wonderful looking films. And I will never, ever, ever doubt their work. But this movie has accomplished the impossible. Make a movie that's so colourful, so full of style, so full of imagination, and make it look so unlike any other film you've ever seen. Oh my god, it works. This is one of the best looking animated films I've seen in a long time. The color palettes, the way it looks is just incredible, and it has this very Day of the Dead Mexican feel to it that, well, honestly, it makes sense. All the characters have very unique designs that are like puppet-like. The animals look cool. When it comes to the Land of the Forgotten and the Land of the Remembered, that gets super creative and really colourful. Even the Land of the Forgotten looks cool-ish, especially Xibalba's castle. When it comes to the humour, that can get really funny as well with its fast-paced humour and energy. When it comes to the fight scenes and the action and the bullfighting, that looks cool as well. And again, this movie has style. And no, it's not either style over substance or substance over style. I'm going to say in this case it's pretty much both. Even though it's leaning a little bit towards style over substance. Yep. And oh god, what else can I say about it? It's such a nice looking film. I don't mean nice, I mean beautiful, colourful, just pleasant to look at. There's not one moment in the film where I thought it looked dull or just eh. I mean, I think this is the studio's. No, wait, no. That's Freebird, and I can definitely tell you that this movie has improved in terms of visuals from that movie. And well, the only okay thing about it is actually the human characters who are reading this story from this female character. So this is not like just a movie; it's just a story told. They look okay. They look like they're from like Blue Sky or something or Illumination. Actually, no, not Illumination. Sony, yeah. I think the animation was done by Sony ImageWorks. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. But with that said, this is one of the best looking animated films of all time. Just so colourful and so passionate. It represents Day of the Dead so brilliantly well. What else can I say about it but it just looks like an absolute blast to watch, and I can definitely tell the animators were having so much fun. Wow, it looks unbelievable. Characters and acting. Our three main characters, Manolo, Joaquin, and Maria, are super likable and they're not hateable in any way. I mean, Joaquin is not necessarily a villain at all. He's more of just the friend who acts a bit like a jerk, but he still has a good heart for Manolo and Maria. Manolo is the main character who's super likable, pretty cute, and he's pretty passionate, and you definitely want to root for him on his journey. Maria's pretty funny and likable, and she's also cute, and her chemistry between the three of them is pretty damn good. But then this movie also accomplishes something else that I didn't think a film like this would do. Normally, in a film like this, there would be loads of supporting characters. They would normally fail when you have a lot. Ice Age 5, Trolls, Angry Birds, Secret Life of Pets, the list goes on. But this movie actually has a lot, and none of them dread the film, none of them make it longer. They all have one simple gag. It delivers, it's funny, and it's there. But they do play a big part in the third act. So the gag or humorous moment never drags on. It's simple, short, and it gets to the point. Other characters worth mentioning is Manolo's dead family in the Land of the Remembered. They do have a couple of funny moments, and they all stand out. His father is the father who wants him to be just like what his family is, even though the son wants to do what he wants to do. Again, like Joaquin, he's not a bad guy at all. He's just concerned about his son, and he wants him to be just like the rest of the family. Same with General Posada, Maria's father, who wants Joaquin to be the hero and protect them from bandits and other crazy villains. Speaking of which, the villains are not great, but they are pretty intense. Some can argue that Sebulba is the villain. Well, I say he's more of a secondary villain. And I could say he's easily one of the best characters in the film. He's devious, he's pretty funny, he's pretty cute, I'll give it that. I do enjoy him a lot. I think he's probably one of the funnier parts and probably one of the more cooler parts of the film. Lord Motte is also another great character and a chemistry with Ixibulba. And, their love relationship is pretty cute and nice, I suppose. So, Sebulba is not necessarily a villain at all. He's just more of a comedic I'm gonna go with anti-hero because he's not a villain at all. But the real villain is actually Shikov, the head bandit of his, well, team of bandits. There isn't much to him, but I'll give it that he's pretty intimidating, and from visual wise, he looks pretty damn scary. And his army, who are the bandits, have unique different styles, but they are just there because they are in a army. Need I say more? Okay. Then we got. What else we got? We got the Candlemaker, voiced by Ice Cube. Weird choice, but okay. He doesn't do much in the film, but he's pretty funny whenever he shows up. Everyone else just has a gag, and then some of them can play a part that's small but effective. So yeah, I think all the characters have their own unique personalities. The main ones I think are the strongest ones, but everyone else they do play in quite well. The voice acting is actually really damn good. As I've mentioned, Channing Tatum's in this movie. The other films he was in is he was Superman in both the Lego movie and the Lego Batman movie. Recently, he's Migo in Smallfoot, and here he's Joaquin. Not a bad choice, actually. I think he fits the character quite well, and he does a great job. Diego Luna is pretty sweet and charming as Manolo. Zoe Saldana is great as Maria. Ron Perlman is absolutely perfect as Sebulba. Christina Applegate's a lot of fun. Ice Cube's surprisingly funny. Even some of the well-known voice actors like General Posada, who was voiced by, I don't remember his name, but I know he voiced Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life and Laszlo from Camp Laszlo. This is kind of a coincidence because the director of this also directed El Tigre. Also, another coincidence, another Halloween film directed by Jendy Tartakovsky, who also directed Samurai Jack and Dexter's Lab. Wow, so much in common. Chicole's voice actor is pretty intimidating. Sebulba or Ron Perlman is always a great choice, and he's always a delight. And there's actually not one bad performance here. I think everyone does a grand job, and there's not one bad character. I think my favourite ones are Sebulba, Lolmote, Maria, Manolo. I'll put Joaquin in there. I don't see why not. Some of Manolo's dead relatives are quite funny. His father's likable. I like. I don't know. I just like all the characters, even though they're not well developed. Maybe a little for some, but I just like all of them. I think they're all just so damn memorable. With great voice acting and colourful characters, it makes this film definitely a journey to behold. Wow, this is a pretty underrated film. I actually don't quite understand why people hate this film. Apart from that, it doesn't represent Mexican culture well. I can understand that, but I don't. Sorry, I don't know much about that. So, but The Book of Life, I think, is fantastic. Easily, in my opinion, the best Halloween film for animation fans or for families in general. If you've got kids who want to watch a good family film, definitely show them this. They will have an absolute blast. But you can show them the Hotel Transylvania films. They're not bad at all. They're good as well. But The Book of Life stands out with its very well executed plot with a good message and good heart. Stunning visuals and one of the best looking animated films out there. Memorable and really fun characters and some pretty top notch voice acting. I'll even put on a side note that the music and the songs are pretty good as well. So, as expected, I will probably give it a 9.8 out of 10. It's pretty predictable, and the human characters don't look all that amazing, but that's really just a minor nitpick. So do let me know what you think of the Book of Life below, and tell me if you have seen it or not. I'm only interested. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do next, but the next film I know I'm going to see is Illumination's The Grinch. So I will probably do The Lorax and Horton Hears a Who. I'm not going to watch, I might do the original Grinch with Jim Carrey. Definitely not The Cat in the Hat. Oh, no. No. I don't know. I know I'll do the Lorax. I'll probably do Sing, because why not? Yeah, Lorax, Horton Hears a Who, and then I'll do Sing because it's related to Illumination. So, stick around, look out for those if I make them, which I know I will, but hey, what are you going to get from this? So yeah, so in all seriousness, the Lorax will definitely be next, and Horton Hears a Who will be on that list as well. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And until next time, adios amigo.